we are back. Alrighty, good folks, welcome to the stream. We are finally good to go, and you're with Dragkarus. So welcome. There's a couple of things we're going to do tonight, and so some of it's been in the making. We started last week, and others we had already done. We're going to do some refining, and then I'm just going to do a small tutorial on adding color to a Volvo FH16 2012. I think it is. It is a... I'll tell you. So firstly, we're going to go through the Smith's skin. We're going to touch that up, make that the way it's supposed to be. Then we are going to do the Wiesenberg livery for the trailer, just to touch it up, make it sharper, make the text a bit more clearer in game. I'll show you that when we go through that. And then here's the Volvo. It is the 2012 FH16. We're going to go through doing a skin, just a basic one in terms of adding lines to this region here. Okay, and making it all pretty. So a sample of that would be this here. So all around, we'll use red as well so that we can have the same texture kind of thing, and then or color scheme, and then we'll take it from there. Okay, so feel free to ask questions, feel free to chat along the way. More than happy to engage with you guys. It'll always be great, and you know, give feedback and that kind of thing. So I may have to respond only on audio, because I can't switch between texting yet. I've not got a multi display set up yet, so that's something that's going to be on my wish list, and I'll be sharing a donation link with everyone in due course, but for now just focusing on doing what I love doing. So let me just adjust my setup here so that I can view the chat properly. Okay, there we go. Okay, that's a bit better. All right, also see what is happening over there. Okay, so just to give you guys an idea, I'm working off two laptops at the moment. One for seeing what happens in chat and that everything is still working, and then other one is for what you're seeing here with the with my desktop or with the screen. So yeah, okay. I think I'm going to get into it now. Let me just see who is in the chat at the moment. I can't see who is in chat. Let's see here. Live chat. Okay, that's cool. Not a worry. Welcome anyway. Thank you so much for joining me. Let's crack on then to the Smith's transport skin, and I'm going to show you first on Eurotruck what it looks like and what we need to change, and then we can from there. This one happens to be a Volvo as well, so that will make our lives easier for understanding. And I removed it last time. Okay. Did I? Which Volvo? FH16 2009. I'm doubting it. Okay, no. So it looks like I had removed it previously from my mod workshop, but that's not an issue. What we'll do is we will... So basically what happened was the writing, I'll just highlight it here. Let me grab some paint. That is fine. Nice Lumo green. And just, okay, so the waste management writing didn't appear on the skin in game. Now that could either have been that I'd forgotten to make it as a layer visible, or I had or something went wrong with the export with Mod Studio, Okay, so that could have been a thing. And then the other thing was the writing on the side of the door. So this bunch here, as it stands currently on this image, it's above the door handle. Okay, so in the skin we've got it that it is over the door handle, so the website is over the door handle and the 500 sticker there, so it's not very neat, it's not the way it's supposed to be. So basically I've got to shorten it, and then that should do the trick for that. So hopefully it won't be too much that needs doing. Okay, so let's just give you an idea. So the programs I use to do my mods is GIMP and Mod Studio 2, which is here. Okay, GIMP I find, well, A, it's open source, B, it comes with a lot of plugins, a lot of vanilla options and tools and textures and things which make it so much easier to skin. It's user friendly, so big up to that. And then for this live stream I'm using OBS Studio. It is also open source and it just works. You know, it's a bit of a learning curve to it, but it really does just work. I haven't actually had a complaint about it. I've used paid software, and one particular one is on Steam and for download from the developer site, and in all fairness it's just not user friendly and yeah, not worth the spend currently. So but I am one of those people that has voiced their concerns with the developers, so I'm hoping that they do sort that out in due course. Okay, so let's start then with Smiths. Let's get Smiths tidied up and exported to Eurotruck so we can see that, and then we'll take it from there with Wiesenberg. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the previous what do you call it, template that I did, and that is Smiths. Okay, and here we go. Alrighty, so here you can see, I'll just take you through that as well. Here I had done the waste management, so it was there, but it just didn't pull through into the mod onto in game. And then over here to now reduce that in height, hopefully without I may have to redo the back wing. I went through last week, I went through that, and it's not difficult to do, but it just takes a lot of time, so we'll do that. Okay, let's just look at what I like to do is I refer back to images to see where parts sit within a model, so like door handles and where a door stops and ends, and where the wings stop and start, where parts join to each other, so that it makes it easier for you to make sure that your color translates across smoothly and not stepped or anything like that. So in this case the door handle sits just above where the cab meets the fenders. Okay, obviously the door goes all the way down, but we need to now go just above. There's a line, I'll show you, there's a line here, that line there, you'll see it goes all the way to the back and all the way to the top, so all the way to the front, rather, around the front of the cab. So if I can line up the wording to sort of just above that, I should be solving my problem. So let's have a look now where I'm at here. So that line that I mentioned now is that line there. Okay, so the door handle will be sitting about there. So it's important that I then squish at least Smiths to the website. If I can squash the web address a little bit or move it up, then that can work as well. So that is going to entail me going to my, let's see here, this appears to be the correct one. Hey, Chris, you're here. Cool, man. Thanks for joining. Glad you can check, man. So if I'm going too fast, let me know. If there's anything that you need clarity on, let me know. Then I can take you through it as well. While I've got you here, as you can see here, I did the blue fenders and blue fenders and bumpers. Okay, so this is kind of what you're wanting to achieve with your Volvo there, but I'll show you how it's done. You stick around right through to the end, you'll see exactly how it's done. In fact, seeing as you're here now, I'm going to sort out Smith's and then we'll do your Volvo next, unless there are any other requests that come through, but I think yours is top priority. So let's do that. Let's sort out Smith's. So here, if I'm not mistaken, I've got this as a whole item. I don't. Okay, I literally have it. You see, I've got my layers down the side here, and this is one of my layers. So I could literally just move that up and squash it up under the Smith's part. My concern with that is that I'm taking a shortcut, okay? Because we've got to try and make it as symmetric. I mean, look there. If you look here, the gap between the between the lettering, there's a certain gap. Okay, so I try and keep everything the same. So I'm going to have to shrink everything, which is going to be a rigmarole. But as I keep saying, if you're going to do something, let's do it right. It's only worth doing if you do it right. So I'm going to leave the web address for now. I just want to see here. Okay, that stays there. Okay, so big important point now with this, you'll notice that I need to just sort out battery, because when one works with laptops, they run out of battery very quickly when they're being used. So I do apologize. Okay, there we go. That's better. Okay, so as I was saying, with the Volvos, and in fact most of the truck variants, they've got a let's go just onto the background. They've got a wing. Call it a wing. I still don't think it's the correct terminology, but anyway, if I can select, here's this one. Yes. Okay, all right. So let's just use this as an example. So here you'll see wing. Try to put a green circle around it now. Let's just do that. So I've got a layer. Okay. All right. So there's a green wing. So that item goes over here. Okay. Now, the thing with that is, in game, your lettering has to, or rather in the image file, your lettering has to go across all of it, and it's got to be painted onto the wing itself. That's what I've figured out so far. If there's another method, I'm open to suggestions. So what I'm going to need to do now is duplicate what I did previously, but first do some shrinkage. So I'm going to take away these wings, which are fender, that's there. Let me just get rid of the blue. Recycling wing. Let's keep the base there. No, take that off. Okay. Let's move Smith's and see where that goes. Smith's recycling. Smith's logo. Okay, there we go. All right. Okay, that is why. All right, so I figured out my own thing. Can you believe it? Okay, this happens on live TV all the time. All right, so if we go to Smith's, I've actually been clever so that I don't have to do too much chopping and changing. Thank goodness. So you can see I've got the, let's go back to this here. I have got Smith's, it is there. And instead of me removing the end of the S, which goes over that piece there, so instead of me chopping that off of this particular layer, I left it on, and I didn't realize I did that, which is great. But then this item here is what you see in game, and that's what needs the little S, piece of the S on there. So okay, bum saved. All right, so let's shrink the phone number. What I'm going to do is, so this is where layering comes in again. So I'm going to duplicate, instead of wrecking a layer, and then I've got to do that all over again. We duplicate, I'm just going to call it phone number 1, and then Smith's logo, duplicate that. Okay, I'm just going to call it Smith's 1, and spelling is there. Okay, and then web address is this one. We're going to duplicate that, and we're going to call it website 1. Pull them together. Okay, and then I'm going to just move the website 1. I'm just going to move it back into position at the distance it was. I'm going to hide the layers that I copied so that you don't have duplication. So you can see here, I'm pointing at my monitor. You can see here you've got duplication because I've duplicated the layers. Okay, and you don't want that to stay there, so we'll just remove the initial one. Okay, there we go. So I've got my 3. Let's just do that a little bit lower. Okay, and we're going to merge the 3 layers now. Okay, so now they're one. So now if I move them, they're one layer. So that's great, because now I can shrink them as a whole so that from a scale perspective, I maintain the scale of the whole, all 3 items at the same time, instead of trying to rescale them individually. Okay, so let's now shrink this a bit, and okay, that's a bit better. So we're getting less S, and I'm hoping that that'll be fine. Okay, so when I was talking about where doors or edges start and stop, this will be a classic case of that. So let's go back to the vehicle itself. So technically my second S is half and half on the door and the front of the cab. The first S is on the back wing and the cab. So I need to make sure that when I scale, stop alt tabbing, when I scale this, this actually needs to be longer, not so much, well, and shorter. So let's do that now. We are going to do that. We've got first S over there. We're going to shorten it and stretch it out a bit and then move it. But now a problem is that the angle of the writing has changed now. So I need to rotate this to be more parallel with the lines on the vehicle, but we'll do it parallel to the bottom, like so. Okay, now let's take it back up again. We have both S's over the door panels, over the gaps in the panels, so that should be fine there, a little bit higher. And we now have more of a gap over here than we do over here. This is tiny gap. Okay, so I think I'm on the right track. This should do the trick. Okay, so it's a little bit of playing around with scale and perspective, but sometimes that needs to happen in order for something to work. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate what I've just done. Remember I said GIMP gives a lot of features which just make things easier to do without really clicking and dragging endpoints or corners or what do they call it? Snap to points. Okay, so we're going to take the other phone number on the right hand side over here, so just keep an eye here. Okay, we're going to get rid of Smith's logo there, and we're going to remove the website. Okay, now very important. Okay, we've got Smith's 1. I don't want to change this at all. Okay, I want to keep that the same. So what I do is I'm going to duplicate the layer. Firstly, I'm going to call it Smith's 2. Okay, then I'm going to first, okay, now I need that to be, the writing needs to be the same direction, left to right, but on the opposite side and the opposite angle. So what I'm going to do is I'm first going to flip the duplicate, then I'm going to tell it, that layer, to be the same size as the image, so that it creates a perfectly symmetrical square. Okay, you'll notice the yellow outline on the image. Okay, that now tells you that your layer is the same size as the image. Okay, so now when I flip it again, it appears on the opposite side. It's just the wrong way. Okay, it's just diagonally the wrong way. So now all we do is we rotate this. Okay, and we can use a slider to do it, and then it will do its thing there. But now remember, it's rotating on the center of the size of the image. So I'm going to adjust it like that, and then just click and drag into position, making sure that I need to just rotate it again. So rotate, yeah, just up a little bit, and then we take that down and across. Okay, cool. So now we have plus minus the same distance on both of them. Okay, the gap between the web address and the bottom of the door. So I'm hoping this will give us enough now so that the web address isn't over the door handle. Okay. Now the next piece we got to do is we need to focus on getting the S on the wing, as I call it. Okay, so what we're going to need to do now is we need to totally remove the wings that we had there, those layers, okay, because we're going to do two totally new ones. We need to go to our template layer, okay, and we are going to copy just the piece we need from that layer. Okay, copy that, and we are then going to paste as a new layer. Okay, some guys might have a shorter way of doing this, an easier way. You got to do what's comfortable for you at the end of the day. Okay, so now we're going to take our layer, we're just going to drag it right to the top of our list, okay, sort of where the other layers were, and we're going to put it there. Okay, just line it up nicely. Line her up, line her up. There we go. Come on. Okay, cool. That's lined up. Now we can we need to put this below Smith's 1. No? Yeah. Okay, so there you saw the S appear over it. Now we're going to take Smith's and duplicate that. Okay, another duplication. We're then going to put the copy above our pasted layer, which is the wing. Okay, we're going to merge the two. Okay, now we've got our pasted layer again. Now we can take our pasted layer. Oh no, we need the fender color as well. Let's not forget that. So fender blue, we duplicate layer, come down to pasted layer, merge down. Okay, then we take pasted layer down. So now we've got all three together. Again, line them up nicely. Okay, there we go. Okay, now we need to get rid of the rest of Smith's and the fender color because we don't need all of that. We just need that tip of the S on there. So we come back to our base. We duplicate. Hello, Desi. Good to see you on. Thank you. I just looked over at the chat now. Hi. Glad you could join me. And Chris there. So cool. All right. It's nice to have the Steam friends also on the live stream. That is so great. Thank you so much for being part of it. Okay. So now we're going to erase what we don't need off the pasted layer. Okay. And literally whatever you erase off there, as long as it's outside of those lines, you sort it. Okay. You see with the magic wand tool, it draws a dotted line around the item. Okay. So there you go. That's it. We've now done that. So in game it'll appear the way it's supposed to with that. Okay. Now we need to duplicate this again. So we duplicate the layer because we need this to appear. We need this to appear here. Okay. Without doing the same process we did before. So we do a process, we duplicate, we flip a couple times. Okay. So let's go to pasted layer now, which I should actually call wing left. Okay, duplicate, and we flip first, then, okay, now the S is the wrong way. Did I go through this again last time? Okay, flip and then flip. No, flipping and flipping is not going to work. Okay, I actually have to do this again. And I think I did this last week as well. So, alright. Not a train smash, guys. Not a train smash. Delete that. Okay. I think sometimes when people see how much goes into these things and then they're like, okay, now I understand, you know. Okay, let's go back now. Alright, we've done this before, we can do it again. Just duplicate, I must remove that green spot just now. Okay, copy, paste as a new layer. Okay, so I guess this is actually kind of like a tutorial kind of thing, live tutorial. Let's see. You guys must give me your thoughts. I don't know if you guys have seen the new event coming up on Eurotruck with that bridge that's being built in Genoa, Italy. That looks like it's going to be a fun one. I don't know what loads they're planning on putting out for that. We'll have to see, but I'm considering selling my B double and my box trailer and getting like a flat deck or something like that, and see if that'll do, because I imagine it's construction, so it should be like your what do they deliver, the pipes and your tractors, or your backhoes, that kind of thing. I don't know. We'll see. So I'm considering it. I nearly bought myself another B double flat deck tonight, but I'll have a look at that. We've got about a week. Apparently, it's about a week before they release that event. So I think everyone's going to be gearing up and getting excited. And as far as I'm aware, everybody who's got the DLC, the Italia DLC, is going to be looking at moving their trucks down that way. So I don't know, I'm going to probably do the same, sort of take your jobs all the way down the map. But yeah. Okay, so I need to pasted layer and Smiths again. And this is going to be Fender blue copy, which is right. We're going to duplicate that, take that down. And there it is. Okay, once again, merge them so that they are one. They are Spanish. They are Juan. That was very insensitive of me, and I do apologize. Okay. Right. Okay, and as before, let's go back here and erase what we do not need. Let's try that again. There we go. Okay. Please make sure when you guys are working on your skins, you are not... thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. So make sure when you are erasing anything, make sure you're on the layer that you need to erase, because you might not see that you're erasing another layer and go, oh, wait, click on it, but you've forgotten you've erased now something below it. And then when you go back to it later, you're like, something's missing, and it's just painful to have to do over again, because then you've got to go back and undo a million times. Okay, so from what I can see now, we have fixed the size of the Smiths. We have added the wings on again, so that's fine. Nothing else really had to change. So now I'm going to enable my base layer again. Base layers aren't really necessary, because with Mod Studio 2 you do select the base color of the vehicle. And I see now what happened there. Okay, so take a look at this. When I remove my base layer 1 on the right hand side there, your waste management is there, but when I enable that layer again, it removes it. Okay, and this is because the waste management and the phone number is below that layer. Okay, so keep in mind with GIMP, Photoshop will be the same, or similar. So now let's go back there and we enable that layer. Now it's there again. That was my mistake last time. Okay, so keep all your layers that you're editing above each other, where they have to be, where layers are more important than others, they have to be more visible. Okay, so I've just solved two problems, and I'm hoping that it translates well on there. Okay, I just need to... I've nearly made another mistake now. Okay, so we're fixing some, we're breaking others. Okay, excuse me, keep an eye on here. So this wing is now white, but my pasted layer is below that, and then suddenly there you go. But I've made another big mistake. I have not painted these wings first. So if I export this just like this, the skin will appear with these lines in it. So now I have to go to my pasted layer, which is this one on the right, and I need to remove these things. Okay, which is so painful. Okay, I'll make as much work for myself as anything. Line still there. Yep, that's correct. Okay, so left wing is the same. So I need to now change that. So I'm going to paint in white. Okay, I need to take care though not to paint over my S and my blue line work there. Okay, blah, blah. Let's make this smaller. And why is it not painting over? Oh, I wonder if it's not to do with. Okay. Why? Let's do that. I'm doing something now. I'm on pasted layer, and that is white. That is not. Select invert. Let's invert our selection and see if we. Okay, different result. But let's work with that. Yeah, that's a problem in my life. Let's do. So holding shift and lining things up nicely, you can also do that. So this is a bit of a messier method, but it works. All we do is we go back to our base, select there, go back to our pasted layer and remove. We'll remove it as best we can. Okay, there we go. That's great. Let's come back to the left wing. Okay, just change that on left wing. Let's invert our thing and paint. Yes. Okay. Oh, not so big. Okay, I hope you guys have had a busy week, like a good week. My week's been crazy. Today went by so quickly. Like, I can't even tell you. It was just crazy, quick and busy. So glad it's the weekend. Glad we are doing live stream. But yeah, Monday doesn't have to come in a hurry, that I can tell you. Okay. Right, let's see here. Okay, cool. Then we still have a tiny bit of the element left there, which I'm not happy about. So we are going to remove that, come back here, and we're just going to erase manually one. Okay, we are literally going by pixel now. Okay, let's just get rid of that there. Okay, so at a distance, that one's also got the lines, so let's go there. As I said, this can be painstaking. Depends on your level of patience. And, you know, in the gaming community, people rage quit for like certain things in games. I don't know. Sometimes one feels like rage quitting. Okay, cool. So let's test this now in game. So I'm going to save my work. I'm going to export as PNG. So Mod Studio 2 uses PNG. I'm going to replace and export. Okay, now let's go to Mod Studio 2 and we open mod. Open it. Okay. And all we have to do is change the image. Okay. And we are on B drive. Okay, Smith's. Cool. Okay, Smith's Volvo. And now we first save. Save your work regularly. Do that with your skins as well when you're busy with them. Save it. Especially if you're making major changes that you don't want to like have a major comeback from, because that could be disastrous. Okay, so I'm going to just bomb it straight into MSIS trucking is there. Okay, because spelling is not important when you're testing your mods. This one is called MSIS, not Smith, S Smith. But anyway, let's see. Okay, she is exported. Let's go in game now. I'm not anticipating the changes appearing right now because I have not added the mod. I think I removed it. So I have a tendency to remove mods if I'm going to be editing them or changing them, and then I go back to the mod manager and add them again afterwards. So there's Smiths. Oh, okay. Confirm. Now we go in game. Right, so while we wait for that, have you got the Italia, is it Italia? Yeah, Italia DLC. Because that sounds like you need that for the upcoming event on Euro Truck. If you don't have it, you must get it. Because it looks like you do need it. Because I explored up to Verona, close to there. And then when I added the DLC, I realized, okay, I hadn't quite been into Italy. But ones I'm looking forward to the most, to be truly honest with you, is Scandinavia. I'd love to go up there and drive in the snow. If that is a thing, that would be great. And maybe Iberia, as close to Africa as possible. But we'll see. We'll see. I haven't even uncovered the vanilla map on Euro Truck, so that's something I'm actually been giving a lot of thought to doing, like a marathon session where I literally go spend like 24, 48 hours or whatever, just doing job after job after job, making sure I unlock or explore all the towns along the way, and doing 100% of the map. I'm going to need a lot of coffee for that, or energy drinks, or something, like proper pit stops along the way kind of thing. So I don't know. All right, we are in. Let's have a look at our truck. And we are on the Volvo. And there we go. Smith's trucking. Much better. Okay. So I can confirm quite happily that the waste management writing and phone number is now next to the recycling logo, and that is the case on both sides of the truck. So bonus. Okay, then to make things even nicer, the fact that I've rescaled the graphics on the side of the truck and moved them up a bit, you can see that my camera's frozen. Okay, give me a second, guys. I do apologize. Let me reconnect. So are we back? We're back. Okay, cool, we're back. Okay, let's go back here. Okay, thank you for letting me know, Chris. Appreciate it. It happens. So, bit of insight there. I've got a Samsung Galaxy A10s, and I've got it connected to my phone. It is a phone connected to my laptop, and then that's just to keep it going because it's far away from a plug point. And I'm using wireless and an app called Droid app, and So what I do is I then have the app on my phone, app on the laptop, and then I can connect the two together and use my phone as a webcam instead, just because it gives a much better megapixel resolution than my built-in webcam on my laptop. So that's the only reason. I can then move it around as I see fit. Okay, so back to the skin, and we're back. Thanks, bud. Okay, so we can see now, if I take a walk up to the vehicle, that the website is above the door handle. Okay, which is perfect for me from that sense. And if we take a walk around the other side, that is also the case. So, but we have a blemish. I thought that was the handle. What is that? Is that part of the door handle, which I've painted over? It looks like it. Let's change the color on the door handle. So these are tiny things which paint. No, that is a blemish. So if we go back to in-game, I can't see anything that would smudge there. So something has gone wrong graphically, and I cannot tell you what it is, because it's on this side as well, and it appears to be the door handle shape. So I can't confirm that. I'll look into that to touch it up, but for now, what I wanted to achieve with this particular skin is the sign writing at the top, getting that on there properly, and yeah, that's definitely not normally there. And then the sign writing on the either side of the truck cab. So that I'm happy about. I'm just not happy about that. So just a heads up with Mod Studio 2, sometimes the mods don't export properly for whatever reason. I'm not sure why, but I'll go back to my template, look at that, and then edit where I need to. But I'm happy with that. So I can say for now that that is 99.9% of the way there. I'll touch it up after this during the course of the weekend, and then export it again and do it there. So I'm happy with that. Let's move on to the next one, unless there's any questions or anything to do with this particular mod. Feel free to ask them anyway, if you have any. But I think what we're going to do now is we're going to do the Volvo. Okay, we're going to move on to the red Volvo, because I don't know how your time looks for now. And we are frozen again, I think. Let me know if we are frozen. I'm still going. Let me check my streaming. We are still streaming. Okay. Not a train smash. But let's dive into now the red Volvo. I'm going to close Smiths because we're done with that. And okay. Cool. There's a slight delay, but more of a delay now. Okay. Cool. Let's do. All right. So, Chris, this was your specific request now. You wanted to have a look at this Volvo skin, getting the red on the fenders, and in particular this line down the middle here, or down that section there. Camera again, really? Oh, I'm going to fire my producer. Okay, there we go. Camera back. Give me a hell yeah if camera is back. Camera back. I think there's a delay between, I think there's about a 7-second delay from when I say anything or do anything on the laptop to when, okay, cool. We're back. Good. Thanks. All right, so we are going to do the red based on the fenders and on the side. So this is going to be a fairly simple one. To give you a little bit of insight into how I do it with the cabs. So the Photoshop templates, PSD files, have 4 cabin variants. Okay, so you can do skins for literally any of the cabin variants for each truck. This point in time, I'm not particularly keen on doing the 8x4, because that I don't do a lot of the 8x4 chassis in that at the moment. So I'll focus on what I do. So from that perspective, then I hide the 8x4 because I don't need all those components, and then the 2 smaller cabs. Okay. For this particular example, it doesn't matter which of the 3 cabs you use, because the cab variant affects the height of the cab, not so much anything below the windows. Okay, but for the sake of this exercise, I'll just do it with 1 layer, which is the I think it's top line cab. That's neither here nor there. Okay, so let's hide the sides. Side skirts. Do we need the side skirts? No. So this particular vehicle is a 6x4 2. Okay, so it's 4 steering and 2 driving, and there's no skirts. So I'm going to keep it that way for the time being, and then we'll take it from there. And yeah, let's go into doing the fenders and that. So, and let's go. So what we're looking for is this. Let me just get rid of that. We're looking for this line down under the door handle, okay, and above the headlight. Okay, so here we can see that line is there already. We don't have to worry about that. Okay, and then that goes right around here. I'm going to just indicate. Okay, that goes through there. Okay, your headlight is this piece here. Okay, a little bit on the top there. All right, so again, let's make a fresh layer. We're going to put it right, we're going to put it right at the top, and we'll just call it base. Call it whatever you like. And now we're going to use the lasso tool, or free select tool, okay, because that allows you to draw pretty much any shape you want, and you can fill that in with whatever color you want. Okay, so it's important that we then trace. You'll notice I go outside of the lines, okay, and then we go right to the bottom, and I like to try and stick with the geometry of the vehicle. So instead of drawing a straight line out, I went with the geometry of the vehicle, and in this instance here we can go all the way down, okay, because we are going to just remove what we don't need afterwards. Okay, so now with my skins that are true to, or as close to the real life thing as possible, I always go back to the photos of the vehicles and I get a sample of the color. Now this is a bright red, so keep in mind that when you take samples, the color you choose from here is going to be whatever shade is applicable in the photo. Okay, so it's always best just to try and match it up as close as you can, and you'll see that once you've done the layers. Okay, so now we're just going to paint it on, and there we go. Okay, cool. It's painted on, but I do feel that it is actually a brighter shade of red. Let's do it like that. Something more along that line there. It's not a totally bright like Lumo red. So I'm going to stick with this red here, okay, for the purpose of this exercise, that will do. Okay, and then that's your side there. Now we need to take your template, and we are going to also make sure that your layer is always the same size as your image. The boundaries are the same size as the image. Okay, because then you avoid any issues where if the model sticks out to or it's close to the edge of the image, sometimes it cuts off because the layer itself is smaller. Okay, so there we have that. Now we're going to select everything. Okay, and we're just going to erase from our base coat all the stuff we don't need. Okay, and there you go. That is as basic as it gets to doing this particular style of paint. And we'll do the whole thing and export it so that we can see what it looks like in game. Okay, and then we take it from there. So now, because we're not working with writing of any kind, we're just dealing with a plain color. Okay, we can now duplicate this layer. Okay, we can then because it's already the same size as the image, we can then flip it, and we've done two sides of the vehicle. Okay, so without doing all of that selecting and lining that, we literally just copy and flip, copy, paste, flip, whatever, duplicate, flip. It does the job there. Okay, now, however, we need to add another layer, because I'm going to be doing with front bumper base, and we're going to go over here. Let me just make that a bit smaller there so we can add more. Okay, so now we need to go from the top line. Okay, just an E indication. We're going to go on that line there, and similarly on the other side. Okay, so I'm actually literally watching my camera now on the live stream just to make sure that it doesn't freeze. Okay, something to be mindful of, I suppose. Okay, so let's now start by going this particular segment. I will stick to the geometry of the vehicle in order to ensure that we don't get any kind of bleeding into the other parts of the cab. Okay, and only when we go outside the lines then it's fine. And we just come outside now again, because we're not worried about that. Now we can paint. There we go. Done and done. Now we go to our base. Base, Cabernet. Not the wine type, not Cabernet. If you're a wine drinker, you would have picked up on that immediately. Cabernet, let's go there. Okay, now another tip. The fender, the original bumper, has a gap, okay, which you can see there, which I've colored over. Okay, now for some of the parts in game, for some of the trucks, that would have an impact, because whatever the game puts in there, it's normally your black grill, okay, whatever you put in there will on certain vehicles it'll cover that, okay, but for the Volvo, this particular vehicle, it's not the case. But just to be safe, you can always go back, and to keep it neat and tidy, you can come back here and you can just erase the unnecessary bits, and then it just keeps it neat. Again, my thing, it can be, you can do it your way, you can leave it like that, it won't even color the bumper, the grille inside the bumper, it leaves it out. So yeah, okay, so that is the basics for what we're going to be doing now. So I'm going to now hide Cabernet, and I'm going to hide the skirts, because we don't we're not dealing with the skirts in this case. If you wanted to do the skirts, it's also the same. You select them all, paint them out, erase what you don't need around the edges, and you're done. Okay, so I can even do a separate segment on that, because like the Scania Next Gen skirts, those are separate items, and they have to be painted separately if you want them to be the same color. So, but if you guys want, let me know, and then I'll do a separate one for you on that. Okay, but for now we'll just hide the side skirts for now. Okay, background you can leave white. So if you remove the background, then you've got the alpha layer. Okay, that's fine too. When GIMP exports it, the alpha channel goes to white anyway, and the game doesn't do anything with that, as long as you haven't painted over, anything else there. Okay, so for instance, if I remove cabin A, any part of the vehicle that's normally there would be white. So I'm taking the white background out, and I'm going to now export this as we're going to do. We'll just put it here, and we'll just call it red Volvo. For the sake of the exercise, we're going to export as red Volvo.png. Okay. Camera's still on, so I'm happy about that. Okay, now we're going to go to Mod Studio, and we are going to do a new project. Okay, every project has a mod manifest, and then its underlying components, truck templates, trailers, side skirts, and all of that. So I'm just going to call this one red Volvo. You got to put in the mod author, so in this case it's me. Can I spell? There we go. Mod version will be 1.0. I use the default icon most of the time when it comes to these things, because we are testing the red Volvo. Only when I'm going to be publishing my mods up on the workshop, then I change all the icons to what they need to be. So now we're going to add a simple truck skin, and that's going to be the Volvo FH 2012. We are going to only select the Globetrotter cab. Remember, we didn't do the Globetrotter and Sleeper cabs separately. Okay, only the XL. So I'll select for all three, just to show you that it does still translate across. But when you've got text and other images on the cab and that, then if you select the different cabs and the way you've painted it all on one template, one PNG file, then it doesn't translate nicely. So let's actually leave those out. Okay, we're just going to give it an internal name, a game that's for inside the game, red Volvo cab. Skin name, we're going to call it red Volvo. Okay, always ask for a price. You can't leave it as 0, so 1 would be the best. Then we're going to make the base coat white. Okay, remember we've painted now the parts that we needed to be red. Your base coat will be white. So again, you can leave your PNG file with the alpha layer, and then Mod Studio will put in the base coat, or you can paint over that. It's entirely up to you. It does affect skins in some ways. Select paint job in mod manifest. Did I leave out paint job? Oh, okay, yeah. You can, yeah. Paint job. Cool. You are on the ball today. You are on the ball. Okay. Let's go back there. We've selected white image, right? Now we select our skin. Volvo. Where did I put it? Red Volvo. There we go. Okay. There we go. Red Volvo. Icon. Default again. I don't do metallic or mask at this point in time. That is something that I'm experimenting with, or I need to experiment with, because there's a lot more ones and zeros, numbers going into that. And my camera has frozen again. Just checking camera. Yes, camera is frozen. Connection failed. Why is my connection failed? That's not very cool. Please be advised, we are experiencing technical difficulties. And we are connecting camera again. Okay, I may have to do this with audio only. Camera frozen again. Yeah, reconnected. And this is strange. Okay, so this is something that would normally not be a pain in my bum. It normally works just fine. And I may have to continue without it. Let me just check here. Nope. Interesting. 103. Okay, nonetheless, we're going to have to continue without it. I do apologize. This is not what I intended to happen. As I said, I'm going to fire my production team. And if that happens to only be me, then so be it. I'll have to just employ myself again. Okay, alright. In the event that the camera comes back, I'm just putting it back up again. And nothing. No. Okay, we are cameraless. Alright, so you'll have to just listen to my voice then in the meantime. Is audio fine? Just give me a thumbs up if audio is okay. With the delay. Come on. Camera's frozen. Something has gone delayed. Let me see here. I'm still streaming. Audio is still going. Okay. Seems like we are back. Let's see. No, camera. Okay, no, camera's still dead, but I'm hoping you can hear me. Let me just do this. Let me know if audio is there. Okay. So let's. Did I export? Let's export. Okay. We are going to export the mod folder. We'll just call it Red Volvo. And everything should be there. Audio or video. Something's up with my connectivity. Okay, export is successful. Cool. I may edit this recording afterwards for a better production quality. Okay, anyway, so I am in game now, and I'm going to do the Red Volvo into the game. And let's continue and see if we're there. Awesome. So, next up after this, we're going to do the Wiesenberg trailer. And that's also just a bit of touching up Shouldn't be too difficult. It's a couple of lines and some text. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do just test text, because what I like to do with the font, I like to try and get the font as accurate as possible, for lack of clear photos of vehicles. So then what I do is I sit and I experiment first in like WordPad or Microsoft Word or something like that, and try and get the font as accurate as possible. Again, it just adds to how accurate one does these skins, and that's just the way I like to do it most of the time. So I think what I'm going to do is I may actually skip that one for tonight, find the font, because that could take some time, and I don't know if you guys want to watch me looking for a font or selecting a font, unless that's something that you enjoy watching. But just to keep this relevant, I'll just take you through what I'm going to do with the Wiesenberg trailer, and then I will save the actual doing it till I found the font, which by the end of this weekend I should have that. So that's not a train smash. Okay, let's look at Chris Strelick's red Volvo. Okay, we have the Volvo already there. We will pick the skin, and there we have red Volvo. Bang, there you go. Nice and neat. Let's put it into a 6x4 2 mid-lift, and yeah, there you go. So she is looking stylish in red. So that red is very close to the red that we have. Let's go back there, over there. Okay, so see what I was saying about the front grille is the game fills that in for you. Okay, so I'm sure with a bit of tweaking and some modding and maybe some work in Blender, I can add that as another feature so that you can change the color there. So vehicles like the Mercedes-Benz Actros, the new one, that one I'll show you now. I just want to one more time around the cab so that you can see. There it is, nice and red as required. Okay, and a little bit of white coming through over there. Now, so this is where I was talking about where the mods don't export properly. So just as we've got a smidge there, we have that there. So I suspect this is something to do with Mod Studio, because because we had that fully covered on GIMP. So I think I will have to, and even there, your door handle again. So remember, I didn't paint that part white. The cab I left as is, and then we chose the base coat from Mod Studio. So that's something that I need to have a look at, because that's going to affect every skin I do by the looks of things. I'm hoping it's not just with, I'm hoping that it's just the Volvo and nothing else. So let's just choose another skin from something else that I've done and see if we get the same problem. Simon Lewis, that's a Scania though. Let's go. So that doesn't seem to appear there. Back to Volvo. I don't know why it is. It's the same. Okay, so it seems to be a Volvo problem, because not too long ago, before update 1.37, during 1.36, the whole front grille was missing. You could see into the bottom of the truck. And whilst that can be fascinating, it's frustrating from a modding perspective and from a gameplay perspective, because you actually don't want to see under your truck. So yeah, that's not pleasant at all. I'm actually going to switch If the camera doesn't come on now, I'm going to switch cameras because I like interacting. Okay. Weird. Okay. Let's just change that. Video capture. Let's edit that. Integrated webcam. Okay. Cool. Alright, so picture is back. And I'm back. Alright, so let's go back to Eurotruck. Okay, so unable to connect to the chat. That's terrible. Okay, guys, I apologize for the technical issues. I will try and get those sorted out beforehand, but I am back with a cam, so I just switched to the integrated cam, which I said in the beginning was really bad. But anyway, so as I was saying, on 1.36 in Eurotruck Simulator, the Volvo, and it was only the Volvo, the front grille was missing completely. Now it would appear that if you select any color for that matter, the door handle appears to be, I don't know if it's a texture error or model error or something, but something is not great with that, and it is on both sides of the cab. So I'll be sure to submit a topic on the discussion forums or directly with SCS Software, see if they can resolve that. Yeah, but otherwise I am just happy that the red paint job worked. Oh yes, I'm just going to take you through what it is I want to change on the Wiesenberg trailer before I close out for the night. So Wiesenberg is on the SCS box trailer, and Wiesenberg, there we go. Okay, so something that was pointed out to me by one of my subscribers on the Steam Workshop is that when you are close to the trailer, the font blurs out. Okay, it pixelates. So, but from a distance, it looks fine. So that there is because I had taken, again, for a lack of a clear image from the side of the trailer, I took a livery template which I found, but it's for model trucks. It's not for the actual big trucks. So it's not a photo. It's not a high-res photo. So the problem with that being, when you scale things up and down in GIMP, I think in any imaging program, you end up with your text, specifically text and smaller details, pixelate out. Okay, so from a distance this looks fine, but as you zoom in, so some guys and girls would be happy with that, and you're driving past and it looks fine, you know, but if it really does get to a person, you know, you're up close, it makes a difference. So in keeping with true to life, I'm going to need to get that fixed up, and that's where again I need to select the font, and that may take some time. That's why I'm not going to do that tonight, because nobody wants to watch someone choosing a font. Okay, if you do, I'll be happy. Let me know. We'll do a session on doing a font. And then the other thing was the green strip down the side is, I think it's the green strip that needs to be slightly brighter, what have you, so the coloring. So I'll have a look at that, and we'll update you guys in due course, and I'll do another session on updating of that. Okay, so for now I'd say we've had a good session. Just to run through what we've achieved tonight, and sticking with the Volvo, we have done the Smith's trucking. There we go. We corrected the graphics on the left and right of the truck so that they don't sit over the door handle. So check that. The graphic on the top of the cab, where all the writing to the side of the recycle picture, that was missing. I figured out why that was the case, and yeah, we've managed to keep things pretty intact there. So Smith's trucking, A for away. Then the tutorial on the paintwork at the bottom of the cab, This actually looks better. Sorry, Andy, but was it Andy? Smith's Trucking. I need to just up that stripe there because you can see a little bit of white under there. But again, minor fix, nothing major. Red Volvo, beautifully come out there. No complaints there, except for the little bit of white stripe there, which I can't explain. But other than that, I think the idea is there on how to do that. So that, guys, is me. Thank you very much for tuning in. I really appreciate the interaction with Chris and Desi for jumping in quickly. And looking forward to chatting to everyone again, chatting to more people. Hopefully next time, that'll be great, and getting to know more about what you guys are looking for, what you guys are doing. Please take a thumbs up with this one at the bottom of the page. Leave your comments, leave your thoughts and suggestions, things that you want to see, things that you want to talk about, things that you want me to talk about on my videos. Please let me know. Check me out on Steam Workshop, also Dragkarus. Check out my Instagram, Twitter @Dragkarus, and yeah, let's chat, let's get to know each other. We're international, we're all international, we're a global family, we're a community, so let's engage and let's make Euro Truck Simulator even more fun together. Cool, thanks so much, and see you soon.